All right, today we are going to crack one of the most classic product management interview questions out there. How would you improve this product? Now, here's the secret. It's not really a test of your genius idea, it's a test of your structured thinking. So, let's break down what a really great answer looks like, step by step.
Okay, so picture this. You're in the hot seat, the interview's going well, and then they hit you with it. How would you improve Google Maps? Whoa, that's a huge question, right? We're talking about one of the most used products on the planet. So where do you even begin? Well, the first move is not to panic and just start throwing out random ideas. The key is to build a structure.
You know, a really great answer always follows a clear framework. First, we're going to talk about the question itself. Then we'll walk through how to clarify the goal, really focus on a user, solve an actual problem for them, and then, of course, plan for success. Think of this as our roadmap to a winning answer.
So why do interviewers love this question so much? Well, here's the thing. They aren't looking for one single right feature. Nope. What they really want to see is how you think. Can you take a massive, complex problem, break it down, justify every single one of your decisions, and then connect it all back to the big picture? It's basically a full-stack test of your product sense.
And this four-step method right here, it turns that super daunting question into something you can actually manage. Clarify, focus, solve, and plan. It's a simple but honestly a really powerful way to structure your thoughts and prove that you can think like a seasoned PM. So let's put it into practice, shall we?
Okay, we're starting with what is maybe the most crucial step of all, clarifying the goal. Look, you can't improve everything at once, right? A great candidate shows their strategic thinking right away by asking smart questions, questions that narrow the scope from improve everything down to one single focused objective.
And just look at how the candidate does this. They don't make any assumptions. Instead, they immediately break Google Maps down into its core functions. They ask, are we trying to improve navigation? Or maybe discovery? Or is it the review system? Just by asking this, they're showing they get how complex the product is, and they're basically guiding the interviewer to give them a clear direction.
And boom, just like that, the interviewer gives them the focus. Let's improve navigation for commuters. See what happened there? The problem isn't this giant, vague, improve Google Maps anymore. Now it's a specific, actionable challenge. We've gone from the whole ocean to a manageable lake, and now we can actually start fishing.
Okay, so we have our goal. The very next step is to get even more specific. Because let's be real, commuters isn't just one type of person, right? It's a whole bunch of different people with totally different needs. A great PM knows you can't build for everybody. You have to pick a user segment and then really justify that choice.
So, what does our candidate do? They lay out the key user segments. You've got your daily commuters, your professional drivers, tourists, and even occasional explorers. Each of these groups uses navigation in a completely different way. And this simple act of segmentation, it's so critical. It shows you understand that one size definitely does not fit all.
And here comes the justification. The candidate doesn't just pick one. They choose daily commuters, and then they explain why. This isn't just a random guess. It's a smart business decision, and it's based on things like frequency of use and potential impact. I mean, these people use the product every single day, and they represent a huge user base. If you solve a problem for them, you're creating a ton of value.
All right, we've got our goal and we've got our user. Now we get to the heart of it all, solving a real, actual problem. You see, the best product ideas aren't just pulled out of thin air. They come from a really deep understanding of what frustrates users, what we call their pain points.
So let's talk about the specific pain points for our daily commuters. It's not just about traffic, it's the unpredictability of it all. You know that stress of not knowing if you're going to be on time? Or that feeling when you get stuck at what feels like a dozen red lights in a row? These are super relatable frustrations, and they are just begging for a solution.
And so, the proposed solution is a daily commute planner. See how giving it a clear name like that makes the whole concept instantly click? It's not just some random feature. It's a tool that's been designed specifically to tackle the pain points we just laid out.
So how would this thing actually work? Well, it's pretty simple. The user just gives it their basic commute details. You know, what days they travel, where they start and end, and what time they want to arrive. And in return, the feature gives them a recommended departure time, and even some deeper insights like, say, the number of traffic signals on a particular route.
And this is the magic moment. A simple, proactive notification that says something like, leave at 8:18 a.m. to get to the office by 9 a.m. That right there makes the benefit crystal clear.
It completely transforms Google Maps from a reactive tool, something you use as you're walking out the door, into a predictive planner that helps you manage your day before you even get in the car. Game changer.
But wait, we're not done yet. A good answer stops with the idea. A great answer keeps going. You have to prove you've thought this whole thing through like a real PM would. And this final phase is all about justifying the idea, thinking about the challenges, and defining exactly how you'd measure success.
Now, the obvious follow-up question, and you're probably thinking it too, is, wait, doesn't Google Maps kind of already do this? And the answer is all about the difference between being reactive and being predictive. See, current routing is reactive. It tells you the best way to go right now. Our commute planner, on the other hand, is predictive. It uses historical data to recommend the best time to leave in the first place. That is a fundamental shift in the value you're providing.
And here's another sign of a really mature answer: acknowledging the challenges. The candidate points out some real-world hurdles, right? Like, how accurate can traffic prediction really be? What about user privacy with all that location data? And how do we avoid bugging people with too many notifications? Thinking about these trade-offs right from the start, that's the hallmark of a strong PM.
You know the saying, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. So the answer breaks down how to measure success into 3 key areas. First, adoption. Are people even setting it up? Second, engagement. Are they actually coming back and using it regularly? And third, outcomes. Is the feature actually delivering on its promise? This whole approach just screams data-driven mindset. And finally, to tie it all together, we need a North Star metric. You know, that one single number that defines ultimate success. For a feature like this, it's all about reliability. So the North Star would be the percentage of commute trips where users arrive within that predicted ETA. This one metric cuts through all the noise and keeps everyone focused on the absolute core user benefit. So there you have it, a really clear, step-by-step framework for tackling one of the toughest interview questions in tech. By clarifying the goal, zeroing in on a user, solving one of their real problems, and then planning for success, you can turn a super vague prompt into a seriously compelling product proposal. So now I've got to ask you, using this framework, what product will you improve first?